thought I'd make a short video on my road bike up against the horrendous noise of whatever the hell we're doing around the corner. I bought this bike. This is a Doman or a Modane or whatever the Trek call it, and I bought this 12 years ago, and it was the first bike that I ever bought. And since I bought this bike, I bought about a dozen more bikes because I had some money. I don't have any money anymore because I spent it all on bikes and photography gear. But anyway, this bike here, despite me buying and building two more modern road bikes, this bike is at least 10% faster than anything else I've ever owned. And I'm wondering why. Now, obviously it's a bit lighter because it doesn't have these bloody stupid disc brakes which have been touted so much by the cycling industry, the manufacturers. And disc brakes, in my opinion, unless you're a real racer slamming on the brakes all the time, or you love cycling in the wet, are a complete and utter waste of time and money. They need to be bled, they screech, they need pads, they need setting up. They're just a complete waste of time and money. This has got the original Ultegra rim brakes. I've put on carbon pads because I've got carbon rims here, and they're perfectly adequate. They're great. I've never once thought I wish I needed more braking power, ever. Now, the reason I think this bike is so fast, apart from its weight, is I've made a few enhancements. I put on NV aerodynamic bars. Now, I like my bars really narrow. They're more comfortable, easier to manage. That you just feel great on a narrow bar. And I can't remember how narrow these are, but they're pretty narrow. As of course are my treads, and I think this is the trick. This is the reason this bike is so fast. I've got a Zip 202 tubular rim on the front and a Zip 404 tubular rim on the back, and these are tubular tyres. And I think that tubular tyres, in my opinion, are far superior to these clinchers or tubeless or whatever nonsense are touted as the best. Now, the trick here is that these are inflated to about 150, 160, I've even had them at 180 psi. Now, 180 psi, I started to damage the nerves in my upper arms because I was just taking too many bumps. So I think they're about 140, 150 just now, absolutely fine. And they're so fast, much faster than this modern idea of wide tyres and inflation around 90, 100 psi bollocks. I just don't believe it. So tubular tyres, light rims, rim brakes, aero bars. I mean, I can't fault this bike, and I really wish, having spent a couple of thousand on this bike and a couple of thousand on the wheels, that I'd never bought another bike, because I've wasted tens of thousands of pounds on modern technology, so-called, that has given me less speed and less enjoyment. I actually love this bike. It fits me perfectly. Obviously I've got an NV stem on there for the bars, and it's just, I think it weighs about 8 kilos. It's just great. And of course I've got an old-fashioned, I think it's a 52 on the front. Never mind all, I've got other bikes with 48s, 46s to help me climb hills. They actually don't help me climb hills. This 52, it does have a granny ring at the back there. I think it's a 39. I never use it. I can go up a 16, 20 degree hill. On this 52, I think there's a 30 on the back. Don't need any more, you know, because once you get down to a granny ring, maybe a big cog at the back, you're spinning so much that the front wheel's going up off the ground and you're not going forward. Great for mountain bikes perhaps, great for cycling, but for road, nah, you don't need it. And in fact, I didn't even have a front derailleur on this for a while. I just had the 52 with the 30 at the back. And okay, maybe if you're doing 20 degree plus all the time, you need to get down on that 39 probably. But the trouble is you are spinning so much that you're lifting up the front wheel and you're not really getting up the hill. So I think, you know, this bike, to me, is perfection. And if you're thinking of buying a bike with all this fancy hydraulic discs and all this stuff, and you know, and this is a 10 by, this is a 2x10. If you're thinking about whatever 2x11, 1x12, 1x13, forget it. Keep your chain in line, stick to 2x10, stick to rim brakes, maybe upgrade the bars as I've done and stuff. Tubular tyres, fabulous. Nothing's ever gone wrong with this bike. The bikes I've got with discs and hydraulics are always going wrong. Screeching, bleeding, loss of air. I've replaced the SRAM, whatever they're called, the SRAM disc thing. What are they called? Are they CX ones? They're something like that. I've replaced a whole lot. It's cost me about £1,000 to fix brakes and replace brakes. Nothing with these. Carbon pads. That's it. Nothing else. Awesome. So if you're thinking of buying a bike and you're thinking of upgrading or messing about, hope this helps you, hope this saves you money, but you will have endless fun and you'll be going much, much faster. A simple rim brake road bike.